From the Detroit Free Press, it's Thursday, June 24th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bush's.com/join-our-team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join-our-team.
Reporting for the Detroit Free Press, I'm Mariam Marini. Nestled in the thumb of Michigan among acres of farmland is the Fowler Center. Since 1957, the Fowler Center has been a haven for developmentally disabled campers. Whether intellectually or physically disabled, campers can have a traditional camping experience year-round. And in the spring, Fowler was fully acquired by the Methodist Children's Home Society. The Home Society is a child welfare agency based in Redford that provides foster care, adoption, and transitional living assistance. The Fowler Center allows campers to participate in activities that would otherwise be difficult for them to partake in, like horseback riding or archery. And they do this by altering equipment to make it accessible for all ability levels. The campsite serves a double benefit. Not only does it give campers a chance at true independence, it gives families who serve as lifelong caregivers some stress-free time off. And, as respite care is typically covered by Medicare, time away at camp often comes cost-free to families. The Children's Home Society is now responsible for the operations and management of Fowler Center after more than a year since the acquisition talks began between the two organizations. The 200-acre campsite will now serve children from the Methodist Children's Home Society, many of whom hail from the inner city, where they have little access to the glory of the outdoors. To learn more about the acquisition and to hear from campers themselves, visit thefreep.com.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Clara Hendrickson. An investigation led by Michigan Republican lawmakers found no basis for claims by former President Donald Trump that there was widespread fraud in the November election. That's what a long-awaited report released Wednesday by the Michigan Senate Oversight Committee found. The report tells voters that they should be skeptical of those pushing false claims about the election and calls on the Attorney General's office to consider investigating individuals who have fueled the false conspiracy theory that Antrim County's tabulators switched votes in the presidential race. Trump carried the county with 61% of the vote. The committee's lone Democrat, Senator Jeff Irwin of Ann Arbor, voted against a motion to formally adopt the report, noting his opposition to election bills introduced by Senate Republicans whose proposals the report backs. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson has said the GOP legislation would disenfranchise voters in response to election misinformation.
I'm Sue Selasky, Detroit Free Press food writer. Be patient, don't argue, and be kind. That's the message from restaurant and bar owners as capacity and gathering restrictions are lifted. But it's not business as usual at many places. Restaurants are struggling with staff shortages, tight supply lines, and high food costs. That means longer wait times, and your favorite menu item may cost more or not be available. Some places posted advice on Facebook for customers to keep in mind as they head out to their favorite restaurant. One Traverse City brewpub's advice was to, quote, "Don't go out to eat with an attitude today." And some places may still require masks. With supply lines tighter and some product availability not there, menus may be smaller or limited. Here are a few other reminders when dining out. Do tip. Suggested tipping is at least 15% and 18% is the average. Make reservations if the restaurant accepts them. Check websites for any other restaurant information or new protocols they may now have in place.
This is Brian McCollum, music writer with the Detroit Free Press. Elton John has announced the final Detroit concert of his career. The piano pop superstar will play Comerica Park on July 18, 2022, part of the last round of U.S. dates on his lengthy Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, which is scheduled to resume this fall after a 1.5-year COVID-19 break. Next year's leg will wrap up with a pair of shows at LA's Dodger Stadium in November. The Comerica Park performance will be the 5th Detroit stop on John's farewell run. He played Little Caesars Arena twice in 2018, and he'll return to the arena next February ahead of his summer date at the Tigers ballpark. It'll be Elton's first stadium show in Metro Detroit since 1994, when he paired up with Billy Joel at the Pontiac Silverdome. By the time he plays Comerica Park, John will be 75, and he'll have more than half a century of Detroit history under his belt. His first visit here was a doubleheader at the Easttown Theater in 1970. Tickets for the Comerica Park show go on sale at 10 a.m. June 30th.
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. A first for Tigers pitcher Matt Manning comes at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Tigers starter picked up his first ever Major League win on Wednesday as the Tigers defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 6-2 for a 2-game sweep. Manning scored 1 strikeout in 5 innings of work, but it was the offense that carried the day for the Tigers. Daz Cameron and Jonathan Scope both homered for Detroit. The Tigers are back in action tomorrow as they host the Houston Astros. This is the second and final series with the Astros in 2021. The Tigers swept Houston in Houston back in April. Game time is set for 7:10 p.m. Thursday night at Comerica Park.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.